And I'm hoping that we leave here with some serious action plans about how we as individuals and small micro business owners can do something and take this forward. I want this not just to be a talking shop, as we would say in the UK, but an opportunity where we are inspired to do more and to achieve more. I'm going to take a slightly different slant, certainly totally in agreement with everything that Marlene has said. You know, I think she must have been looking at my notes, or I must have been looking at hers, because there's so much similarity. So I'm going to briefly go through looking at it from the point of view of a business owner, and what we should be aware of, and what we should be doing. So my talk is entitled Pioneers to Lead, and I will take up that title a little bit later on. If you know me, you will know that I always push people to do more. So I should want you to expect that by the end of my talk. So I'm going to be covering what family-friendly enterprises are, why FFEs are important, and I was joking with Ruben earlier on that I've taken up the Brussels bug to shorten everything, so it's FFEs now. What the benefits are, and what we can do as individuals, as I've already said. Marlene has touched upon the fact that there is this stereotyping, and you know we are stuck culturally and in terms of our different countries in putting women in one box and putting men in another box, and saying women should only do this and men should only do that. So when we need money, we should look to men, and when we need caring to be done, we should look to women. But although we're saying that in our heads, the facts are that isn't really what's happening out there in the world. I know countless number of men who now have responsibility for looking after their children, who have responsibility for looking after their elderly parents, or other members of their family who are unable to look after themselves. So when we're talking about family-friendly enterprises, we're talking about something that will benefit not only women, but will benefit men and will benefit everybody else in our community. So we really do need to change this whole idea about what people can or cannot do, or what people should and should not be doing. If we look at the stats in terms of the employment rates across the EU, the 27 states, in 2011 we saw that 70.1% of men work, and if we look at the next one, over half of women work. So that tells you that things are changing. So we need to, as business owners, be aware of that and be ahead of the game. And I want to pinpoint there that whole pioneer. Pioneers are ahead of the game, okay? And we need to make sure that we do that. So as small business owners, we need to be prepared to work more flexibly. And I think the fact that we are small enables us to change more quickly than bigger organizations. We don't have the bureaucracy. We can pretty much decide, we're going to do this and then get on and do it. And I know that most small organizations, that's the way they operate. They're not labored by or held back by bureaucracy. And as smaller business owners, we like bigger organizations and looking for the best talents out there. First of all, can I ask this question? Any small business owners in here? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you. So, are you in the same boat as me? Do you want the best people working for you? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, we need to look at broadening our our perspectives on what the best is. So, if we look at Okay, we'll move on from that part. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so sometimes the best talent are women. Anybody disagree with that? Absolutely not. Sometimes the best talent out there are parents who have childcare responsibilities, whether male or female. Sometimes the best talent out there are people who have to look after elderly family members, people who come from other ethnic groups, and people who may have disabilities. It's looking at what is the best talent. So as small business owners, we should so position ourselves, position our adverts, our promotional materials, so that the best is attracted to us and we are attracted to them. Do you understand where I'm going? So if we want the best people, it is not we want a man or we want a woman. I think we need to create more opportunities for women because, as Marlene says, and has been documented time and time again, women are far behind where we should be and where our capabilities certainly enable us to be. Last year at the first Mothers in Management conference, we saw the presentation of this European-wide survey, what matters to mothers in Europe. If you haven't read that, you should find it's an absolutely eye-opening piece of information. And one of the things that spoke to me was that 81%, I think it was, of the women who were surveyed said that they want to work. They want to work, they certainly want to look after their children, but they want to be able to do that more flexibly. So as small business owners, we can create the environment so that we benefit from getting the best talent, but also those people that want to work are not stopped from doing so because of their gender or because of any other unreasonable reason for not allowing people to work, like disabilities or anything really. If someone has the ability, they have the willingness to learn, they have the eagerness and the motivation to commit to your business, then that should be the reason why we employ them. Okay, so I think that we should do a survey across Europe for fathers. And I'm sure that if we did, we would find that fathers would say, I want to work, certainly, but I also want to spend time with my family. There's so many men that I speak to, they grew up where their fathers were always away from home, and they have lost out on that bonding, that connection with their fathers. So as business, if we look at it, we are the ones that are creating the environment out there for the business world. We'll look at a figure in a moment, but there are a lot more small businesses out there across Europe than there are bigger businesses. So we're in a position of power if we would wake up to that and to realise that we can influence the environment, the culture, and the attitude in terms of how we move forward. So, yeah, we can put that up now. 19.3 million micro businesses across the 27 states, and you can see the stats for the UK from where I am. So if we look, we're actually quite a powerful group of people. So my challenge today is, how do we use that weight, and how do we move that forward, both for our benefit. We have it's great to see some men here, certainly, but also I think I've got another slide coming up that says in the UK 58% of all the start-up businesses last year were women owned. And I don't know what the figures are for across Europe, but I'd be surprised if it's not close to a similar thing. So we are in a position of power in terms of our ability, our numbers, and we are good at speaking up. So let's speak up. Women are good at collaborative working, and that's one of the things I want to challenge us to look at. So there's a large army of micro businesses out there that can make a huge difference, both in the employment levels, and we'll talk about how we can influence that in a moment, in recruitment, in impacting on the economic health of Europe,